The battle to protect and revive Great Plains grasslands is taking place across state lines. Farmers and ranchers are on those front lines as they graze their cattle and work to preserve the grasses that sustain their operations. So what steps can producers take to fight back, and where can they go for help in dealing with woody plant encroachment? One important ally is the USDA's Natural Resources Conservation Service. NRCS offers farmers and ranchers the technical and financial assistance they need to protect and improve the resources in their care. Joining me now is Karen Woodrich, NRCS's Acting Deputy Chief for Programs. Karen, thanks for being here today. Can you tell us how NRCS programs and work on grassland conservation fits into USDA's focus and commitment to climate-smart agriculture?
Yeah, thanks, Kate. Thanks for having me here today. Grasslands and conservation and climate-smart agriculture really go hand in hand. And with USDA's recent kind of resurgence and emphasis on climate-smart agriculture, it's great to see some of this in action as we're out here. We all know that grasslands are an important part of our economy. They're really important to the ranchers and farmers that are out here with the cattle on those grasslands. And sometimes I think we often forget that our grasslands, especially in the Great Plains, are 90% privately owned. And so our farmers and ranchers have this great opportunity to really impact carbon storage and carbon sequestration and what the grasslands bring to that whole climate-smart agriculture aspect. So we know that our grasslands not only have carbon storage above the surface, but really underneath. It's really an upside-down forest. And those roots grow deep, and they're digging for moisture, and they're really holding that carbon right there in the soil. And it's a great fit. It's a great way for our farmers and ranchers to realize the impacts of what they're doing to help the environment, to help save their bottom line, whether it's carbon, whether it's water resiliency and drought resiliency. Those grasslands really make a big impact.
So how is NRCS working to sort of direct the state's efforts in grassland conservation?
A lot of what we do is locally led, right? It's producer driven. And as far as the Great Plains Grasslands Initiatives goes in the Great Plains here, this really was an effort locally from producers that have identified the need to come together as a community to save their grasslands and also think about the economic viability. And when you think about it, grasslands really are the backbone of beef production and other meat productions across this country and actually worldwide. So in order for those folks to be able to improve their bottom line, to keep cattle growing, to keep even migratory birds happy, what's good for the herd is good for the bird as well. So it's also good for the pocketbook. So balancing that economic profitability and allowing those folks to really understand what's going on in their grassland community is really important. Within NRCS, we have what's called the Working Lands for Wildlife framework. And in and amongst that, we have the Great Plains Grasslands Initiative. And so we're working with those ranchers on preserving the grasslands that we have. Grasslands are being eliminated at an alarming rate, and we want to save what we can. There's only 4% of the original native prairie grasslands left. And so we're doing our best, and those ranchers are really doing their part to preserve those.
So why is it important for NRCS to partner with other folks like NCBA or other industry partners to implement these strategies through the Great Plains Grass Initiatives and something like Defend the Core?
It takes all of us, right? There's not one agency or one entity that can really provide all the resources that are needed, whether that's financial resources, technical assistance, those resources to know what trees to remove, how to identify some of those plant species, and then the labor force and the equipment that might be valuable to protect and to preserve some of those areas. And again, the Great Plains Grassland Initiative, kind of 3 tiers, defend the core, grow the core, and mitigate the risk on the edge of the core. And it takes all the partners talking about that and providing those resources to make that happen.
Karen, we certainly appreciate your time today. We really appreciate NRCS and all the staff all across the country in those state offices doing that work and really helping out producers to really help the land. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you have conservation practices you'd like to put in place on your operation, you should start by visiting your local NRCS office and talk about the technical and financial assistance they provide. Go to their website, nrcs.usda.gov, to find an office near you.